We are live finally. Hello, everybody. How you doing? I want to welcome everybody to Healing Conversations. I am Dr. Alicia Watkins, your therapist, your college professor, and your relationship coach, of course. Tonight, we are diving into a moment that has the internet really divided in a lot of ways. Ayesha Curry, you guys, sat down for a really, really interesting interview on Call Her Daddy. I've never even heard of this before, but she spoke openly about her journey. She talked about marriage, she talked about motherhood, she talked about her own identity and self-discovery. She gave this talk. And instead of compassion, I think she received a whole lot of criticism. And I just want to welcome everybody here. I've already given my opinion because my husband was talking to me about things, and I was watching things on the internet, but I had not quite watched the actual video. And so before I came to my own conclusions, before listening to what the internet chatter had to say about her, I decided that I would sit down and I would watch it first person instead of listening to what I'm hearing on the internet. She's disrespectful. She is not honoring her marriage. And when I watched it, I was waiting for the disrespect. I heard a woman reflecting. I heard her talking about growth, honesty, and gratitude. So anyway, tonight we're going to ask some of these deeper questions. Why are Black women so attacked for being transparent about our experiences? Why is vulnerability from Black women seen as disrespect? Why did she get such harsh treatment? And was she disrespectful? So, I feel like she wasn't disrespectful, but I'm open for other people's views. So anybody who is in the chat that actually heard what Ayesha Curry had to say, tell me what you think. And let me know if you saw the interview in its entirety, or if you didn't, but just saw little clips. So let me know in the chat, everybody. And I am welcoming with here today some other individuals. Today I have Lori Nichols. Welcome, Lori Nichols. She's a financial psychologist, but she's also an advocate. She's a thought leader on empowerment and family systems. So we are so happy that she is here with us today. Welcome, Lori.
Thank you.
Yes. And we have Ayana Mayat, who is half of a better half of her husband. If y'all don't know the Mayat family, y'all are not in the know, because they are killing it. I love them. They're one of my favorite couples. Talk about power couples. That is what she is. And she is a social worker like myself. She's all about emotional wellness, and she talks about mental health and definitely talks about couples. I recently had her husband join us for the All Black National Convention. He lit up that stage. Yes, I love Black male social workers who can talk about healthy relationships and get it right. So that is beautiful. Welcome, Ayana.
Thank you for having me. I'm always glad to be in the room with you. And when I got your message, I was like, oh yes, I want to talk about it.
Thank you so much. I sent out a message like, we got to talk about this. Yes. And we got to see what's going on. Now, I've already given it away. I already told you what my perspective was. But I would like for everybody in the chat, everybody here joining us today, go in the chat and let us know what you think about Ayesha Curry. Did you watch it? Yes or no? And what did you think about what she had to say? So, Ayana, I have my notes here because I was taking notes when I was watching it. We'll start with you, Ayana. Tell me, just what do you think about this interview?
Oh my goodness. So, like you, things have been bubbling on the internet, and I was like, what's going on? What are they talking about? People keep talking about Ayesha Curry and how disrespectful she is, and she just keep causing problems for her husband. And when I say I don't be paying attention, I don't be knowing what's going on half the time. I don't know. So I have to really be intentional. Like, let me go find out what's going on. And so once I saw that a few times in different places, I went and I looked at whatever the name of the podcast is. And
Call her daddy or something.
Yeah, I
Call
was like, call her daddy. Never heard of it, right? And so I watched it earlier today, and I was waiting, and I was waiting. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was getting angry the more the time went on. That's my go-to emotion. I'm still working on that. But I was getting angry, like, dang, she can't talk about where she was, where she is, and she can't be real about all of the nuances of being a woman, a mother, and also the honesty around how you feel when you have someone who has a big spotlight. Can her humanity come in there, or she just got to be the good wife? Like, I was getting irritated. And then I went over to a couple other YouTube accounts where I saw people talking about, and they were like, this disrespectful wife. I mean, she keeps making him look bad. And I was like amazed. I'm like, am I not getting something? So I absolutely, just I will say this and begin like this. This is seemingly a pattern of behavior, and I'm going to talk about specifically in our community. It may be, I think, for women in general, but for our community in terms of people of color and Black folks, giving no grace, wanting us to show up a certain way, be a certain way, and say all the things that make it look good. And you cannot be human. You cannot have real tension. But men can have tension. And I'm not trying to make it a comparison. It's like, oh, we expect that. But we can't have the tension. We can't have ambition and want to parent. We can't say, I didn't want to be no mama. But that was the path that God set for me. And I'm on it and I'm doing it well. But that was a struggle. Like, what in the hell? Like, we can't be real. That's what I came to.
You know what? I love that you're talking about anger, because I really got heated. And in my mind, I kept thinking, this is what they do to all the Black women. I've seen them do, not just to Ayesha Curry, but anytime a Black woman opens up and starts to become vulnerable. And I'm talking about Black female politicians.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
As well. And they just get this heat, like they're inadequate and they're they're not appreciated. The entire interview, all she kept talking about is how grateful she is.
Yes, that's right.
How come that wasn't taken out of context? I mean, out of context. So anyway, Lori, I ain't gonna steal your thunder because I could go on and on. Tell me, what was your initial response to watching the video?
Yeah, I was waiting for that boom to drop too, in terms of her saying something disrespectful about her relationship. And all I saw was a woman who fell into wanting to raise her children and decided, there's a piece of me missing. I want to find my piece of my identity and reclaim that. She wasn't talking about, leaving the husband, leaving the children. She just talked about, I want something for me.
Yeah.
And to me, there was nothing wrong with that. She had that life when she was little in terms of the acting growing up. And then, she met Steph. They had a baby. She said it wasn't expected. They had the baby. And then she just felt like, I need me. I need to find me again.
That's really interesting. I'm here looking at this, at the comments here, and I have Jerome here, and he's saying she shouldn't be disrespectful to her husband, period. It's a difference between being disrespectful and vulnerable. Jermaine, my question for you is, exactly where did she become disrespectful? Like I want to be respectful to your comment because I want to make sure that I hear you out, but I want to know how and where is she being disrespectful, because I was really looking for it. And I think what's really interesting is that I heard other people say that she didn't really want to get married to Steph Curry. That's what the internet buzz was saying. But when I actually listened to what she said, I had never wanted to be married. She's talking about when she was growing up, before she even met and fell in love with Steph Curry. Now, if you were to interview me at the age of 18, when I was 18, I wasn't thinking about getting married and having kids either. I was thinking about finishing college and doing stuff like that. So if I had met, well, actually, I did meet my current husband at 19. He didn't want me. He was not trying to pick me up out the way. I just want to let people know I was single. He was dating someone else. My current husband was dating somebody when we met. I was the one that was single for 3 years. So let's get that straight. And I would tell you, I really resonate with some of it because people always, they, you know how the internet is, they say stuff about me and my husband. And I'm like, you don't even know what's going on. Like, you don't even know the circumstances. I was single. He didn't. He was the one that was in a relationship. So we were friends. I'm going to be respectful of him and his current situation. So I don't know. I think that was really kind of interesting how that was taken out of context, the little snippets that went on in the air and taking out of context. So that leads me to my next question. Like, she started reflecting on how young she was when she got married. Why do you think that level of honesty triggered so many people about, you know, the fact that she was young when she got married, the fact that, you know, she talked about, I married him not because I wanted to be a wife. She said, I married him because I loved him. And I think, you know, that was a really good point because it's not like there's so many people walking around wanting to be somebody's wife and not even thinking about, do I actually love this person?
Right.
Yeah. Ayana, let's go to you. What do you think about that statement?
Yeah, you know, I think the first of all, there's a lot of culture out here that perpetuates this whole piece around women having to kind of look a certain way, be a certain way, and in so many ways, the goal, getting to the bag, is getting a man and getting a husband. I mean, that was not. I didn't grow up thinking about the dress and the way. I didn't. So I resonated with that. Like, I wasn't thinking about that. I was dating and stuff, but I wasn't, as a teenager and stuff. But I just wasn't like, oh, I'm going to get married and I'm going to have children. There are people who that is their story, but that wasn't mine. And if you come outside of the story of what the quote unquote American dream looks like and how it looks for a woman and a man to come together and grow and then have children and then go and multiply and be together. If you come outside of that pretty little story, people get perturbed by that. And I also heard a lot of, I don't know, do y'all hear feedback? Or y'all good? Do y'all hear
I can hear you. You're good.
I can hear you.
All right. But I also see that there's a lot of intolerance for people being able to have, it's something, this is the way I can put it. If you in any way appear to be getting a benefit, to have some level of privilege, to be experiencing a blessing in any way, you have something perhaps that other people might not have. Maybe it's a good marriage, maybe it's an NBA husband, whatever it is, right? Like, whatever it is, people are like, be happy and be quiet. You can't be at the height of heights, living life in a way that we admire, and then say that there's some tension there. Like, people just don't have any tolerance for that. And it's very fascinating to me because we know, I mean, I think about Robin Williams, who was was a big time comedian, and he, committed suicide, God rest his soul. He had lots of tension around the space that he's in. We know that this exists. So whether you're the person who's in the spotlight or you're next to the spotlight, why do we seem to lose our humanity the higher up we go in terms of how people perceive us? That, like, you should just be happy. But it's the same thing that back in the day people would tell wives, I know he stepped out and I know he went down the street and around the corner, but let me tell you something, but he come home every day and you got a roof over your head and you got a place for your children. And so you just, forgive him and keep going. That's toxic. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe y'all can hit me to it, but it is the culture. It is the culture, and it's sickening.
It really is sickening. And you're right. I mean, she said that she would get that sort of response from people who would interview her. They would be like, why do you want to have a brain? You're supposed to sit in the stands when your husband's playing basketball and look pretty. Like, that's her job, to be in this box. But the beauty of it was Steph Curry's response, because he said, look, I encourage you to go and do and be what you want to be. He encouraged her the entire time. He said, look, I don't care what anybody says. You want to go to culinary school? Go to culinary school. You want to start your own business? Start your own business. And it was their relationship that I feel like it was really a signal of what we could consider healthy relationship. Ain't no drama been going on between the two of them, by the way. We ain't heard about him stepping out and doing all of those things. It was really, truly pure love between the two of them, from what I'm seeing, and she was really transparent. Yeah, she encouraged her to go and live her dream. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. And I think that's so key, because communication between the two parties is most important. And shutting out the world and all the voices and the criticism is what couples have to do in order to keep their relationship going. But if you take in the criticism that you hear, then it feeds into the relationship.
Yeah, that's so important. And you know what is so interesting is, I was talking to my husband, we watched it together, and I said, I want to know, because we don't always agree on all the things. And I'm like, I want to know from your perspective, like, was she off? Like, did she miss something? And not only did we watch the Call Me Daddy podcast, there was something that we watched that kind of recounted different things that have happened that I was not aware of, where she, I guess when she was on an interview with Jada Pinkett Smith in the past, that she spoke about the same challenge about, kind of being seen and that kind of thing, and not being seen. And she actually spoke about, at that time, what was it? It was like, Steph, gets a lot of female admirers, and she doesn't really get any admirers. And so, it was a little bit like, I don't really get any attention. He kind of gets all the attention. And sometimes it makes me wonder, like, how am I looking? Am I okay? That kind of thing. And people were coming for her. So it's like a stack up of things over time, where she's just been truthful about being in the spotlight. And people say, oh, she's jealous of her husband. And why are you looking for somebody to look at you when you're a married woman? But not able to see the greater dynamics that were going on. And so I asked my husband, I said, so in terms of what you saw, I think there was another show that they showed where some models came out and she was pretending to, kind of play like, the people were like, "Ooh, she was doing something with her ring, like, it's like, do I need to take my ring off?" type of thing. Now, my husband said, I think what it is that, he said, I didn't hear anything that she said wrong in the interview. She was being genuine, honest. He said, but, because of the platform that they had, because of the hype, because of everything, she got to lead really hard with not her story of, oh, I had a hard time. I wasn't really thinking about being a mom, or I feel like I was not in the spotlight. But she got to lead hard with, this has been my journey, but let me first tell you how much I love my man, and how he is everything. And, and how this is, the path that I've been placed on. I didn't see it this way, but God has, done a great thing. And I've had so many doors open, and I'm so grateful. He said she spoke to it, but she got to go hard in the paint with it, because if it were me, this is what my husband said. I mean, I might be a little bit like, you could have leaned in on it a little bit more, so that, and I said, well then, but is she doing that? Would you be saying to do that because you're unsure, because you want the people out there who are looking and making commentary to be clear? He said, the people out there. And at the end of the day, that's not right, but that's what they got to navigate. She should have just leaned in a little harder on it, and that would have been better. I said, I know you not.
I think it was almost like a foot in the mouth sort of episode, although instance. And I think that's why when she first sat down for this interview, she's like, I got to tell you, I'm really nervous. I am very nervous about this, because she knew. She said, these people won't come for me. And that's exactly what they did. I think even if she had made a mistake, to me, it signals that the world is not ready for a Black woman to make a mistake. It's not ready, because if it's, I just feel like Black women are so scrutinized And she was every little word she said was scrutinized and taken out of context.
Context, yes.
And she knew it going into the interview. And that's why she was so nervous. Over and over again, she kept saying, I am grateful.
Yes.
I have such gratitude. She went on to say, I was young. I had children back to back at such an early age. It was overwhelming. And then she goes on to say, if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't have changed a thing.
Right.
And the internet still came at her. So what you can tell your husband is that it doesn't matter. And I'm telling you, Kamala Harris had this issue.
Yep.
Who's the other one?
Michelle.
Michelle Obama had this issue.
Yes.
You can't be vulnerable. You can't be open. You gotta look. You gotta be dressed up and ready to go out the door. You can't be having your headscarf on.
You can't have your headscarf on. None of this. We are held at such different standards.
Yes.
And Simone Biles had the same issue. And even Kamala Harris being multi-race, she still presents at Howard University in a Black sorority. She still gets scrutinized. It's not Black enough.
Right.
I mean, it is. There's no grace. There's absolutely no compassion. And I think that's the real issue. And I know the title of our conversation today, everybody, is Did Ayesha Curry Say What Every Married Woman Feels? But I think the real conversation here is, can a Black woman have feelings just like anybody else?
And be vulnerable to be able to say them in public.
Right.
And be accepted.
And I just got to tell you, I'm on a roll here. I'm probably I'm not asking questions like I need to, but I just want to say, my first introduction to her was that cooking show. And I remember I was having a conversation with my dad on the phone at the time. And I said, oh my goodness, I didn't even know who Steph Curry was. My first introduction to Steph Curry was through Ayesha. And I talked to my dad on the phone and I said, there is a really cute, smart, funny lady, African-American Black woman on this cooking show doing feminine things. And I remember thinking, God, we never get to see that on the Food Network. And me and my dad and I had this long conversation about how great that is, because in that moment, way back, this was a long time ago, I remember thinking like, finally, we get to be seen outside of these stereotypes. She doesn't fit the stereotype, and it causes everybody to be anxious.
Yeah. Lord have mercy.
She didn't have the label of, oh, that's Steph Curry's wife. She had her own identity on that cooking show.
Yeah, she had her own identity on that cooking show. And that's the problem. People think that their spouse, people think that a man is married to a woman and that woman is an extension of him.
That's it.
Thank you. And that is the problem. Even I have come through. People think that I can't have my own brain, that I have to repeat everything that my husband says. I'm my own person.
That's right.
My own experiences. We complement each other in a lot of ways, but we are not at all the same. I mean, think about it. My brother, we're half our DNA. We got 50% DNA that's the same. We grew up in the same household. Even we don't have the same ideas about something. So how am I going to have the same ideas? The thing is being tolerant of differences and respecting those differences. You were going to say something about it, Ayesha, or about that?
Well, I think the piece that stands out to me most is that when people are not, when they're not in the practice of being in touch with the many aspects of their own lives, and which, by and large, unfortunately, most people are not, or many people are not. I'll just say many people are not, like the contradictions and the things that make us uh, nervous and make us unsure, but we still keep pushing forward, and all of the things that make us human. When they're not in touch with those things for themselves, and they can't hold space for anybody else, let alone a celebrity who's on this whole other level. And I wish I could just, this is what people probably say, get up in the, this, I heard somebody say this earlier, get up in the morning and just look outside, and I don't have to go to work. I don't have to do anything. I can just look around my big house. And then, matter of fact, somebody said, I don't understand how she is a kept married woman. And she moving like she's got, what did they say? Something like a bitter baby mama. She moving like a bitter baby mama.
What? Wow.
It's like, and as you have already said, this is just patriarchy. It's patriarchy, and women elevate and keep it alive just as much as men do. It is a systemic issue where we don't recognize that if it were a man, we'd say, oh, well, he has to have his own space, and he has to have his, people would understand that. Oh, we would just get information. He needs to be able to, I'll understand you're doing your thing, but he needs to be able to have his own thing. And we can understand that there may be some concerns, and you got to be sensitive to his feelings, and make sure that you're not over. Well, are we any different? Oh, clearly we are different, but we're not any less. And so there is not equality in terms of how people think about women and men, especially in marriage. And that's why I really, again, I have only looked at them a bit, but I really like Steph and Ayesha. I remember seeing something recently where when she had the cooking show you were talking about, I don't know why these people were coming for her, but they went to some basketball game, and the people were in the streets, right in the restaurants, right? And Ayesha can't cook on the little sidewalk stands for their restaurants, and they were coming together in masses and really coming for her. And I don't even know what that was connected to, but again, she's not adhering to the idea that people want to see: a submissive, supportive, grateful, wonderful wife who doesn't have attention or ambition around things that she feels maybe God wants her to do. She just is, it's all about the children and the life and my husband. So that in and of itself was probably enough. And what I loved about Steph is that I think at the next press conference, he had a shirt on that said, Ayesha Curry can cook. Right. I know that's right. You know what I mean? We're not getting into the noise. We're not, I'm standing up for her. And so I love that, because you got to be able to block out that noise, because people have made a whole narrative about them, and it sounds foolish.
I
do. She also talked about how they came for her looks. She said that was the first thing they came for, her looks. And it's like, wow, you can't even just be okay with yourself without someone talking about your looks, your hair, your skin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how they came. I went to her Instagram page today, and oh my goodness, she's out there playing golf, and the comments, Steph should leave you. You don't have no big. Just the comments. And I'm telling you, I want to do another conversation about this red pill community and these pick me women. I want to do a big one about red pill and pick me's who are just terrible when it comes to Black women and expressing themselves and having an opinion and saying something and coming for them just because they're talking and they're bringing people down on the internet. I really couldn't believe it. And they're all in her chat, all in her comments. It really was disgusting. So anyway, welcome everybody. I see your comments in here, and I want to hear from somebody who saw the entire clip. Tell me what you think. Let me know if you saw it or if you saw other people's interpretation of it. Tell me if you saw it. I would like for you to put that in the clip. I also want to let everybody know the title of our talk today is, Did Ayesha Curry Just Say What Every Married Woman Feels? But really, we have moved this topic to talk about why Black women are under such scrutiny to be a certain way. And if we step outside of that, if we make a mistake, how is it that we have this double standard? And that's clearly what's going on today. I do want to remind everybody that y'all can follow me on Instagram. How about that? Let me see. Let me put it up here. At Coaching with Dr. Alicia. And of course, if you're interested in working with me, you can contact me at Coaching with Dr. Alicia. And if you want to get updates, text message updates, I do have a Healing Haven community of people. We all get together for free on Zoom and talk about healthy relationships. Yes, we do. Be sure to text LOVE, LOVE, to 87948. And you can sign right up for, where is it? You can sign right up for my book club, totally free. draliciabookclub.com. I'll leave my Instagram up there for you guys. But what I would like to do is I want to go to, let's hear it from her words. Now, I have a whole lot of clips that I wanted to load up, but I'll load this one up today.
Did you guys kiss first date?
No.
Oh, wait, let's go back to the beginning. Let's hear from Ayesha Curry's mouth. And I want everybody listening. I want all y'all to listen to what Ayesha Curry actually said. And let me know if you think this is disrespectful. Okay, I'm going to play the clip.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying of like, you never saw him as something, but I'm like, when you look back, is there any memory that you're like, maybe there was something or no?
No, never. I had a friend over who had a crush on his brother at the time, and she decided to call him, and they were giggling, and then we're maybe like 15 at this time, and they put Stefan on the phone, and somebody said something about Canada, and so I was like, oh, I'm Canadian, and he's like, oh, do you like Canadian candy? And I'm like, I love Canadian candy. And so my aunt was coming into town from Canada, and so she brought some for me. And so I was like, oh, I'll bring you a bag to church the next time we're at church.
See, it was meant to be. It was meant to be.
I bring the bag, and I literally, everybody's watching. I hand it to him, and I don't say anything to him. I just shove it and walk away. Like, that's how shy
Ayesha.
I was.
And did you like him at all? Like, in your heart, you're like, oh, I wish I could. It just wasn't. It was high school.
I thought he was so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
okay, so fast forward, you go on this first date.
Yeah.
What are the vibes?
It was one of the best days of my life. Honestly, it was so innocent and young, and like, I wish I could relive that, or at least watch it from like a bird's eye view. It was so cute. We did Hollywood Boulevard, put our hands in the Maryland hands, and like got chai lattes. We went over to the Grove and like walked around, and they were filming some Eddie Murphy movie that I don't think it ever ended up coming out. And just had checking cop cars to see if they had donuts, like just like real young love. I don't know. I remember it like it was yesterday.
I feel like when you have one of those first dates, though, like I feel that way about my husband. I always say that to him. I'm like, oh my God, what I would give to relive that night, or at least
holds.
Did you guys kiss first date?
No.
Did he try?
No, he tried. So shortly after that, I got a really bad bout of laryngitis.
Stop. This is so random.
And my throat was so swollen. It was like, and I panicked, and I was like, Mom, Dad, I want to come home. And so I went home, and he was like, I'm home. And so
you're laid up with laryngitis.
I got a little bit better, and then we like continued dating from there, obviously. And like, I want to say it was maybe like the fourth date. He came, like, I was mid-sentence, and he like came flying at my face, and I turned to the side. I'm still nervous at this point. Like, it's like butterflies. And he's like, oh. And I just look at him, and I'm like, I didn't know that's what we were doing. Like, I didn't know you liked me like that. And he was like, yeah, I've just been coming over to your house for the past 2 weeks to play video games with your brothers.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, what is it about this? Who's Monkey Man? TMB Monkey Man, if it was the best day, why say honestly? Okay, so tell me, what do y'all think about this? What was the very first impression? It was a sweet first date. What do you all think? What do you have to say? We'll go with you, Lori. Tell us what reflections about this inner exchange between the two of them. Her very first date, by the way.
Exactly. And she was 15. She said she's 15 years old. That's young love, innocent love, enjoying the moments with each other. And like she said, she had butterflies in her stomach because she's attracted to him. He's attracted to her, and she's just enjoying her time with him. And I didn't see anything wrong with that part either.
Very nice. Yeah. I mean, I didn't see anything abnormal about that there. Ayana, what do you have to say about that?
No, I thought that it was actually, my husband and I got married at 24 and we dated since high school. So it kind of brought back like, oh, I remember we were so innocent and just like, oh, I love you. So it gave me butterflies just listening to it. And that's the one thing there's authenticity with Ayesha. People may differ in their opinion, but I sense that there's a real authenticity. She's not trying to be or trying to say or make up something. She's just sharing what her experience is. And I could feel that. And it was very sweet to me.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, we got another person on here. Thanks for everybody. Welcome. Curry. You got the times mixed up. That's okay. The day.
Oh my gosh. Hi.
Hey there, Shar. Did you get a chance to see everybody welcome? Give a good round of applause for Shar Curry. She is so smart. And she's also a relationship expert. And she's on here. And did you get a chance to see Ayesha Curry's interview?
You know what? I saw clips of it. I did not watch the entire thing. I saw clips of it, but I've been seeing the clips for a while. So yeah, I'm a little familiar with it.
Yeah, well, it's so interesting. I was watching the clips, but I said, you know what? I'm going to sit down and watch it in its entirety because we know that things can be taken out of context. And of course, my husband was telling me about it, and he was like, I don't know, she in trouble. The internet is eating her up. I was like, dang, what's going on? And then I saw
so many memes about it.
Good grief. And then I saw the interview, and I was sitting there waiting for something. I couldn't find anything.
Nothing.
And so, but based on the clips, it looks like she's in a whole leap of mess. She didn't got up there and like dogged out her husband all on live TV. And I saw no evidence of that. And I was looking for it. I came into watching the video, believing what everybody had said. And I remember talking to my husband. I said, okay, that's what's happening, but I'm going to reserve. I'm going to watch. I like going to the primary source.
Yes.
And let me not judge. I wouldn't judge her anyway. Even if she had messed up and said something really awful, as a therapist, it's not my place to judge. I try to explain. So tell me, what is it from the clips? Tell me, what is your response? Let's get your feedback here.
So here's my thing, right? Okay, here's my thing. One of the number one things that stood out was when that guy came out from the back and she goes like this and she starts to take off her ring.
Yeah.
That to me was super disrespectful. Even if nothing else had happened, that was super disrespectful. Because how dare you? How dare you? And then there was another thing where she said that, there was something about her feeling a little slighted or whatnot from being married and having kids and not being able to do her own thing. But I'm wondering, like, when and how and why wasn't she able to do her own thing? It seems like she would have leeway, if anything, to be able to go ahead and, pursue her passion.
Right. So that's interesting. But if you watch this video, she speaks about that. And she said that it was her husband that encouraged her, because she got married really young and had those children right away. But in her mind, there were things she wanted to do. She talked about how she was a creative and having children is creative, right? But there's all sorts of ways that you can show and demonstrate your creativity. And so she had all these gifts that she brought that she wanted to be able to display outside of being a wife and a mother.
Right.
So she felt that there were things that she needed to do and wanted to do. And the one thing about it is that her husband supported her going to culinary school, supported her starting her business. They talked about how they have a foundation together where they're giving back to children.
Yes,
so she has been able to have something set aside for herself and carve that out. Okay, which is really fascinating because part of the work that she's doing, and you'll see it when you watch the entire thing, is that she said, and I wrote it down because I thought it was really fascinating, that her goal is to make sure that other women can tell their story too. That to her job is to leave a mark so that she can have her mark in the world so that she can allow other women to tell their powerful story as well. So that was kind of her legacy. And she never said, she sounded like she never wanted to be married. Yeah, she said that when she was 19 years old, that she wasn't thinking about being married. She never knew that she would want to be married, but she met Stefan. She fell in love with him. And that's why she married him, because she loved him. So she wasn't identifying herself by this married symbol.
Right.
But she's like, oh, I married him because I love him. She's talked about how she loved him. She said she looked at him and said, I love you before he did. So she was absolutely in love with him. And she wasn't a basketball fan because her parents were creatives. And she encouraged him to continue and to finish his education. So she wasn't even interested in the glitz and glamour of being a basketball wife. She loved this man, which is what she said. So I do want to let everybody know that we just scratched the surface here. I am looking out for how Black women are scrutinized. It really got me angry. Ayesha, I am with you with this anger. Not Ayesha, I'm sorry, Ayana. I am with you. There's too many A's.
I thought you was talking to Ayesha Curry, child.
No, I'm not talking to Ayesha Curry. I'm talking to you, Ayana. I'm with you with this anger. Because I really was waiting, and I started looking at some of the comments, and it was clear that none of those people had seen it in its entirety. And I think it's important before we start to get on these bandwagons to watch the whole thing and to things get taken out of context. Because she said, yeah, I didn't even want to get married. But when I met my husband, when I met him, I fell in love with him. And, at that young of an age, you would want to have a career. I didn't want to get married at 19.
Right. Absolutely.
So that makes sense, right? It makes sense.
I can understand it from both sides, but
So we're going to wrap up today. There's so much more that we could say. I would like for, let's give some final words. And if anything, y'all let everybody know where they can find you. Let's start with you, Miss Lori. Final words and where people can find you.
Okay. Well, I definitely got to watch the entire program, and I just found it fascinating how women are still, being their voice. They need to just keep quiet and lay low. Women are still being unheard. And my final words are, women should continue to have their voice. They should continue to follow their dreams. And that's most important, and not lose themselves in a relationship. So
excellent. And where should people come if they want to find you? Where should they find you?
On Instagram, it's LALN, Living a Life of Knowledge and Purpose, LALN on Instagram. And also my website is The Financial Recovery Doctor.
All right. Thank you, Lori. Okay. Then let's go to Shar Curry, and then Ayana will end with you. Okay, Shar, let everybody know where to find you. And yes.
Yeah, so I am Shar Curry, aka Says What She Wants, the #1 female advocate for men, but also a sister to women. Thank you so much, Dr. Alicia, for having me today. We have to always do it again, of course. And my take is this: if you're going to choose to get married, then walk that walk. Don't disrespect your husband. Don't disrespect yourself. Don't disrespect your family or your union. But make sure that when you get ready to do this, that you're ready. And if you're not, then make sure you step aside because you might be holding somebody else's husband hostage.
Oh my God, that is funny. Holding we don't want to hold somebody else's husband hostage. Yeah. And let that man go. Okay. Ayana, give us your last words and where people can find you.
Sure. Thank you so much again for having me. I love this conversation. I wanted to talk about this today, so this was just on time. It was on time. Everybody can find me at Black Love and Marriage. BLAM is the acronym, but Black Love and Marriage on all platforms. And I think what was most important for me to lift up is that Black women, as I think it was Malcolm X said, are the most unheard, unseen, unvalidated, and unsupported group of people. And not only do the greater society participate in this, white supremacy is an institution that supports this, but Black people do it. Black women do it, Black men do it, and we don't even recognize it. And so it is okay to be nuanced. It's okay to have a mixed bag. It's okay to say, I was unsure, but I love my man. And it's not disrespectful to be able to speak your truth. And until and unless we support women and all people, but especially women in speaking their truth, even when it bumps up against, damn, you got a good life, why are you talking like that? Right? Then folks will not be able in everyday life to be able to speak their truth. Shame on the people who say something is wrong with the fact that she had an experience that mixed in, I don't know, I'm unsure, I don't know if I can take care, I didn't know if I could figure out how I could manifest and do all the things that God was asking me to do. Lots of women resonate with that. Lots of women resonate with the overwhelm of motherhood and all the things, but you've got all of these resources. So what's the problem? It's the same problem because we're all humans. It's the same challenge because we're all humans. And when we do not give Black women their humanity, and we continue to put them in positions where they have to be a superhero and they have to be a strong Black woman no matter what, but we can understand the vulnerabilities of everybody else, we are messing up big time. And that's what I think happened in this case.
Oh, wow. Okay. Excellent. Be sure to check her out at BLAM. I love that whole BLAM. That is so great. Yeah, I mean, I am with each and every, the three of you, the three of you. I guess Shar is gone, but yeah, I definitely agree with this. I think Black women deserve to be respected. If we want to talk about respect, Black women deserve to be respected. And when you respect Black women, you are allowing them to have a color of feelings and a color of emotions without the label of a betrayal. She was grateful, but still wanted more for herself. That's called growth, not ingratitude. I think that when we silence Black women for expressing how they feel, we repeat the very trauma in our community of which we claim we're trying to heal from. Healing means protecting the softness, I think, in Black women, not policing Black women.
Yes.
And I think a lot of us was on the bandwagon, and I almost was on there too. I almost was ready to get on the bandwagon, but I had to stop and say, you know what? I'm going to be smart about this. Before I draw my conclusions, I am going to go straight to the primary source of that interview. And to get to that interview, I had to sift through all of these terrible red pill comments. I'm telling you, this red pill community is awful. I've been reading some articles about, maybe that's a whole nother conversation. I've been reading some articles about wives who have been saying, help, my husband has been taken by the red pill. I don't even recognize him anymore. Something is going on here that is very divisive among men and women. And I've been reading up on a lot of fresh research on this very dynamic. But somebody said they took both pills. That's so funny. Red and the blue pill. All right. We love you too. We love you, Black Lexicon. Glad that you are here today. So anyway, everybody, please, if anything, please go and watch this video. on Call Me Daddy. Is that what it is?
Yes, Paul.
Podcast.
I don't know what that is about. Anyway, that's my take on everything. Thank you guys for joining me last minute. A lot of you guys are last minute. And thank you, everybody. Be sure to go to Coaching with Dr. Alicia if you want to work with me individually. Go to @Coaching with Dr. Alicia. Follow me on Instagram. And of course, as always, text LOVE, LOVE to 87948. You're going to get some information from me about healthy relationships. That's what you're going to get. And then you can join my book club. It is free. You don't have to pay anything but attention. And it is draliciabookclub.com. We meet every Sunday night, and it is so much fun. Y'all missing it if you're not there. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.